All right, happy Sunday, everyone. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we are, well, first off, the 2023 season is done for Glory Days Pro Football. It is back from QA. I sent it to the printers yesterday, and of course, they won't see it till tomorrow, but also sent it to Joe, the PDF, to put up on the website. So hopefully that will be up by the end of the day today, and I will have the printed cards back sometime toward the end of next week. In the meantime, I've already started the 1985 season, as you can probably see here, and currently actually just about halfway done rating those teams as well. So thought part of the testing process is replaying games that actually happened during the season and also playing some games that did not. And that's what we're going to do today. This is Buffalo, who honestly offensively was one of the worst teams in the league in 1985, 2-14, obviously, against one of the best defenses of all time, one of the few offense or defensive drive result that gets above 10. You can see Chicago's an 11 here. So it should be in testing, you look for games like this, obviously, to be blowouts. It should be a game where Chicago should probably win by 4 scores. But again, that's part of the process. And as I rate and tweak teams, it comes a lot off these testing results. So that said, I'll probably at some point too, before I finish the set, play a rematch of the Dolphins-Bears game from that year. Of course, the Dolphins handed the Bears their only loss. In a game, the Bears did not have Jim McMahon, which obviously makes a difference, but we'll get going. First of all, we're going to roll for the Bears trait. And so the Bears trait miserly, and that comes into play, basically the description of that is all big plays rolled on the drive chart become stops, and you roll for yards in the punt kick column. Buffalo has no traits, so that's not going to come into play. So D20 for that, 13 or less. They are miserly today. So Buffalo, big plays off the drive chart are as good as a punt. Quarterbacks, not going to roll for them. I'm just going to go with Ferragamo for the Bills and Jim McMahon for the Bears. So let's roll for our kickoff. Odd, visiting team gets it. Even, Chicago's going to get the opening kickoff. And let's get underway and see how this goes. So Buffalo, they are a D on kickoff, which is not very good. They have only 3 chances for a touchback. And they did not get that. That's going to come down at the 5-yard line. Chicago on the return is an A. They have a really good kickoff return team that year. So 6A on the kickoff return, and that is going to be a 25-yard return. So Chicago starts at their own 30-yard line. And simulated a portion of the drive. So Chicago's offense, their defense gets, and it's due, a lot of the credit for that season, but their offense was actually very efficient. One of the 2 most efficient offenses in 1985, generally behind a strong running game. Of course, featuring one of the greatest of all time, Walter Payton. And Jim McMahon could make plays when he had to, too. So Buffalo's defense is a 7, actually not terrible, a little above league average, honestly. So it's going to be a +3. Chicago will roll their drive rolls on the +3 row here. So they basically have to get 28 or better to not punt. Chicago, with their 11 defense and Buffalo's 4 offense, Buffalo rolls on the -7. They're going to have to get 55 or better to not be forced to punt. So Chicago with the ball. And looking for that 28 and 26. What do you know? Chicago is going to be stopped the first drive, only 2 yards on 3 plays. So Jimmy Mack, let me fix this. Jimmy Mack unable to get the Bears offense going. A couple of incompletions, and they're going to have to punt. And 1 sec. All right, sorry about that. I want to get my drive tracker out. Oh, that's the other thing I did not cover. 19 drives in this game, so it'll be 4 in the first quarter, 5 in each of the last 3 quarters. And we're already on drive number 2 as Buffalo's defense gets a win there. And Chicago set to punt. Buffalo is a D on punt returns, and Chicago is a B punting. So 1B, that's going to be a 44-yarder. Comes down at the 24-yard line. And 1 on the return. That will be a punt return of -1 yard. So Buffalo at their own 23, their first drive of the game. And again, they need 55 to 78 for a successful drive because basically everything else is probably going to be bad for them. 49, that would be good if they were just a little bit better offensively, but it's not. They're going to have to punt as well. It's going to be a good 7-play, 22-yard drive, though. So they get it up to their own 44 before they have to kick it away. No score here in the first quarter. And Buffalo punting the ball is a C. Chicago is a C on the punt return. So 6C, that is going to be a 41-yard punt. Down to the 15-yard line, and on the return roll of 1, that's going to be a fair catch on the 15. So Chicago. McMahon and Ditka having a very animated conversation after that lackluster first drive. Again, 28 or better. Wow, but Chicago is stopped again. So that's 3 plays, no yards. So they've had 2 yards on 6 plays and 2 3-and-outs to start this game. I'm not saying this is going to be an upset, but surprising is Chicago just maybe not taking the Bills seriously. And into punt it away. We've had some fun results in testing and games that we've played as well, but B on the punt and some that went exactly as expected. It's going to be a 34-yarder. Wow. So that's going to come down. Buffalo's going to get to go straight into play-by-play mode. That comes down at the, it's going to be fielded at the 49. That was actually the worst result in that as a B punt team. So on the return, 3D, and that is going to be a fair catch. Probably smart there. So Buffalo, surprisingly, they're going to get the first opportunity in play-by-play mode on this last drive of the first half. Some things to look out for here. They are not very good throwing the ball. Chicago, of course, is maximum both run defense and pass defense. All right, so first play is going to be a very smart running play to Cribbs, who is rated a K. However, Chicago, roll of 5, that's going to be no star. Chicago is going to get 1 star. That is a trench control win for the Bears. Roll of 3. And again, off the defense, you look at this column right here. And roll, and actually this has changed for this version. This is actually 0 to 4, but I will remember that, and I got to change that card. And the reason being is that this card too, and I want to, I guess, digress and touch on this. This card is a little bit different, actually a little bit better than the card for the 85 Bears in the all-time great team set, which comes with a base game, because those teams were neutralized, and this is versus the rest of their league this year. So regardless, it's still going to come out of the K column. And 3, that is going to be a running play of 4 yards. So Buffalo down to the 45, 2nd down and 6 would be something if the Bills jumped on top here. As closing moments of the first quarter, no score in this one. And 14 on second down, that's going to be a pass intended for Andre Reed. Trench control, again, not good. That is a win for the Bears. And 6 is going to be an incompletion, so third down and 6 now. Chicago expecting the pass in this situation. Going to be 1 star for the Bears, and of course expecting the pass adds a star, so it's going to be a stalemate. And stalemate 8 for the Bills. That is going to be another incompletion, so it's going to be fourth down. And from the 45, Buffalo will have to punt it away as we come to the end of the first quarter. So really, they were in a good position and, of course, could not come through with points. And that punt's going to be a 36-yarder. That's a good punt down to the 9-yard line. And 6C on the return for the Bears. That's going to be a return of 2 yards, so up to the 11. And let's see, as we go into the second quarter, our score is 0-0. A little bit unexpected there, but Jimmy Mack, he is not done well. He has missed his first four pass attempts. And this time they get a 47. That will indeed be a successful drive finally. And taking place on that from inside the 20-yard line, that's going to be 5 plays, 58 yards, automatic first down. It's all the way down to the Buffalo 31 and Chicago into play-by-play mode, and I would expect a heavy dose of sweetness here. All right, let's see. 19, no. McMahon's going to cross him up and go over the top, looking for Willie Gault. And 5 on the trench control roll. That is 1 star, no stars for the Bills. Win, that is complete to Willie Gault. And Willie Gault, of course, is the Bears game breaker. And D on the trench control win chart over here. D7, and that's going to be a 21-yard gain. So McMahon hooks up with Gault down to the 10-yard line. It's going to be first and goal for Chicago from there, our first drive of the second quarter. And Jimmy Mack brings the team up, and 12. He is going to give an inside handoff to Matt Suhey, the bruising fullback from Penn State. Possible penalty on this. 1s is going to be a stalemate, and 5. Matt Suhey is rated an I, 5I. And that is going to be a 6-yard gain. Let's see if there's a penalty, though. Chicago, 1-9, an offensive penalty, and that is a 6. That's going to be a penalty. 20. And 20, that's going to be a personal foul. So he'll get his 6 yards, and then we'll add or take 15 away from that. It's going to put them back on the 19. It's going to be second and goal from there. So playing behind the sticks, we go to the 3rd and 6+ for our play call here for Chicago. 17 and 17, that is going to be a pass intended for McKinnon. And possible penalty again, 3s, Chicago. Their pass offense, not as good as their run offense, but still 2 stars on that. That's going to be a trench control win for the Bears. And that's going to be complete. And McKinnon, 0F. That is going to be a big play, so this will probably be a score. Of course, pending the penalty, so Chicago, self-inflicted wounds on this drive. We'll jump over here to the big play charts. Looking at F, 6F, and that is going to be a D20 plus 30. It's going to be a touchdown if there is no penalty. So McMahon going downfield now after a couple of stagnant drives. It's going to be another penalty on the Bears, however. Whoops. So declining the penalty obviously results in a touchdown. So Buffalo is going to accept whatever the penalty is, and of course that's going to be holding. So that's going to back the Bears up to the 29-yard line, second down and goal from the 29. All right. Mike Ditka not happy with the way his offense is playing right now. A 10. That will be a pass intended for Matt Suhey. Jim McMahon going to the check down route. It's not going to be too profitable for him, and it's going to be, yikes. So trench control win, but a roll of 9. So here you see the 9 on the offensive win. It will be complete if McMahon avoids the sack. So the pass to Suhey is going to go for 2I. That will be actually a 19-yard gain. So a big gain there for the Bears. And I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong column. It's N. So 2N, that's still going to be a fair 7-yard gain. Let's check the sack now. McMahon, he sacked 1 to 11. Buffalo's a -4 for so 7 or less, 14. And McMahon avoids a sack. It's going to be 3rd and goal, however, from the 22-yard line. And Buffalo now playing a prevent style defense. Another 9 on the, that's not going to be good. It's going to be another trench control win. And this pass 20 is intended for Kent Marjoram. So that's going to be complete if McMahon avoids the sack. So yardage on that, Marjoram is rated an L, not stellar. So 8L, that's going to be a 12-yard gain. That'll make it a chip shot field goal. But McMahon, 7 or less, he is sacked. And 18, he avoids it again. So down to the 10-yard line, 4th and goal from there. And the Bears are going to be stopped and be forced to settle for a field goal attempt. Kevin Butler coming on, 0 to 97. Kick is up and easily good. And Chicago finally off to a 3-0 lead here in the second quarter. Closer than expected thus far as Chicago gets set to kick it off. And their kickoff rating is a C, 5C. And that's going to come down at the goal line. And return on that, 6C will be a 25-yard return. So Buffalo takes over at their own 25. See if the Bills can get a successful drive going here. Of course, looking for that 55 to 78, and they're going to have a successful drive. So Buffalo, that will be 5 plays, 32 yards. So now to the Chicago 43, down in distance situation, Bears defense 11. And down in distance situation is going to be 2nd down and 10 for Buffalo at the Chicago 43-yard line. So Ferragamo with a good strike down the field to set them up, and actually might have a good trench control roll here. 2nd 10, 4 is going to be a handoff to Bell. Buffalo with 2 stars and Chicago 1 going to be a trench control win for the Bills. And H3, that's going to be a 4-yard gain. That'll make it 3rd down and 6. Down to the 39-yard line. So Buffalo, disadvantage here because Chicago will be expecting the pass. And 3rd and 6 plus, roll of 8. That's going to be intended for Reed again. It's going to be complete regardless, though, as Chicago wins the trench control battle there. But a roll of 2, even going off Chicago's card, 0 to 2 is a completion. And Reed, it's going to put Buffalo in a position to take the lead in this game, which nobody would have expected. As 0J down here is going to be a 12-yard gain. So down to the 27-yard line, 1st and 10 for Buffalo as they look to tie or surprisingly go ahead of the Bears here early in the second quarter. Chicago up 3-0, and 1st down. This is going to be a run call to Cribbs. Trench control roll for the Bills, and they get 1 star. Chicago 1 star. It is a stalemate. So 6K, and Cribbs powers forward, and he's going to get a gain of 3. 2nd down and 7. Ferragamo under center, barking the signals, and 2. They're going to stay on the ground with Bell this time, running the ball. Going to be a Bears trench control win. 7, it's going to be a stuff, so the Bears defense angry in that roll of 1 on the stuff chart. Chicago's stuff rating is a B. All right, 1B on the stuff chart, and that is going to be a -1 yard gain. So 3rd down and 8 now from the 24-yard line. Chicago, I'm sorry, 3rd and 8. Chicago expecting pass, and 9. This will indeed be a pass attempt, and this one's going to be intended for Reed again. Ferragamo looking to read often and early in this one, or early and often. So trench control win, that's going to be a Bears win. 4 is incomplete, 4th down. And from here, it will be a 41-yard field goal. So Buffalo looking to tie this up at 3 as we approach the halfway point of the second quarter. So 40-49, Buffalo is 0-79. Kick is up, and it is good. And the Bills have shockingly come back to tie this at 3 here in quarter number 2. And they'll get set to kick off to the Bears. Mike Ditka, not a happy camper on the Bears sideline, as Buffalo's actually had the slightly better offense early in this one, believe it or not. So kickoff from the Bills, that is a 2D, and that will actually make it into the end zone for a touchback. Chicago, playing modern rules, takes over at their own 25. $28 or better for a good drive. 71, and that is easily going to be a good drive. Roll of 13. And that's going to be 7 plays, 41 yards. Down to the 34, and down in distance situation, Buffalo's defense is a 7. Down a distance roll of 5, going to be 2nd and 10 for the Bears from there. So Jimmy Mack has not had a good first half. 2nd down, we'll see if they start leaning a little bit more heavily on Walter Payton. 14, they do not. This is intended for Emory Moorhead, the tight end, and it's going to be a possible penalty. Trench control win for the Bears, but 7 is going to be an incomplete pass. Let's see what the penalty is, or if there is a penalty. 9, there is indeed another penalty on the Bears. So Bears killing themselves early in this one. It's going to be another holding call. Buffalo will accept that, so that pushes the ball back to the 44-yard line. 2nd down and 20. And again, Chicago behind the sticks. That has been a common occurrence here. 14, that will be a pass intended for Willie Gault. So McMahon looking for a big play. 2 stars for the Bills, though, and 5, it's going to be a Buffalo win on trench control. However, 2 is still completion. Now, 9, this is where it's going to get interesting for Chicago. 9, because the defense won trench control, will be a possible fumble. So the gain on that for Willie Gault, 9D, that is going to be a 16-yard gain. Which will make it 3rd and 4 if he does not lose the football. Chicago loses it on 1-7. Buffalo's adjustment is -1, so 6 or less, and 7. And the adjustment saved the Bears. Unbelievable. 3rd down and 4. Otherwise, Buffalo would have been taking over. So big strike from McMahon sets up a manageable third down. Brings the squad up to the line, and this is going to be a pass intended for Walter Payton. Probably smart out of the backfield. Trench control 4 for Buffalo. That's going to be 1 star and 5 on the offensive trench control roll. That is going to be 1 star as well. So stalemate. That's going to be complete. The roll of 3 there. And Walter Payton is a G. I'm sorry, an M on passes. 3M, and that is going to be an 11-yard gain. So that's good enough for a first down. As it's down to the 17-yard line, 1st and 10. Bears finally showing some offensive life in this one. Surprisingly tied with Buffalo at 3 here, past the midway point in the second quarter. And McMahon's going to come out and play action on 1st down. He's looking for Marjoram over the top, trying to get this into the end zone. And trench control roll, that is going to be another loss for the Bears. That's incomplete, 2nd down and 10. Smartly staying on the ground. Sweetness is a ball carrier here. We're going to have another possible penalty. Unbelievable. So for Bills, that's 1 star on their trench control roll, 2 for the Bears. So a Chicago victory at the line of scrimmage. And Walter Payton, 4G. It's going to be a 6-yard gain, but let's see if there is another penalty. 16, not this time, so that'll make it 3rd down and 4, down to the 12-yard line. Playbook is open for McMahon and those 9s. So 99 is an event roll. In the play-by-play portion, if you play full play-by-play, you would allow 199 basically in lieu of the actual play per quarter. In hybrid mode, we take all the rare events or rare plays off of the drive chart, so we will ignore that. But 9s are not going to be good, probably, for Chicago. As 3rd and 4, that's going to be a handoff, and that goes to Walter Payton. So trench control roll is going to be 2 stars, and Buffalo run defense is 1 star. A trench control win for the Bears. I take it back. It's going to be all good. That's a big play, and 9G on the big play chart. That's going to be a touchdown run for Chicago as the result that, well, actually, maybe not. It's a 2D10 roll, so I guess we could get short, depending on the guy. That would have been good for 92 yards out. So finally, Chicago, 11-yard touchdown run for Payton. Bears on the board. And pending the extra point to make it 7-0, and that's, or 10-3, I'm sorry. So 10-3 for Chicago. And we move up past the halfway point now in quarter number 2. Chicago set to kick it off. And 6C on the kickoff. That comes down to the goal line. 5C on the return. That's going to be a 31-yarder. So Buffalo, good return there. Try to put another successful drive together, and they're hanging with the Bears here as we move towards halftime, only trailing by a touchdown. But they still have that long, those long odds on the drive chart. So here we go, 55-78, and that's another good roll for an evenly matched team, but not in this case. It's going to be a stop for the Bears as they get 2 yards on 3 plays. So up to the 33, and we're to our last drive of the first half, Chicago. Buffalo will get the second half kickoff. And punt for the Bills, that's going to be, both teams rated a C, so 9, that's a potential block. 94 though, and the way you do block, again from the tutorial, 9, you then read the second dice as a whole number. And you see Chicago's block rating here is 98 to 99. So if that had been an 8 or a 9, it would have been a block. They just get it away, however. So 9C on the punt, and that's going to be a 40-yard punt. Comes down at the 27, and 4 on the return. And it'll be a 4-yard return. So Chicago takes over at their own 31 for their last drive of the first half. .28 or better. And they get stopped. So Buffalo, wow. Buffalo playing above their pay grade here in the first half. They get up to the 45. And all we need to do here, this will bring the first half to a close. Just make sure the punt is not going to be blocked or there's a penalty. Buffalo can't block it. Punt is away. Well, actually, we still need to check for a potential big play. So Buffalo D on the punt return, and Chicago, once again, B punting. So 3B. It's going to be a 45-yard punt. So that comes down at the 11-yard line. And 0 on the return is going to be a big play punt return, so not so fast. For D's on big play punt return, best they're going to do is a 40-yard return here. So 1, and that is going to be a 11-yard return. So that brings the first half to a close. And Chicago, a slim 10-3 lead in this one, as Buffalo is going to get the second half kickoff. And we'll get right to the action. So really, outside of that one drive, that's going to be a touchback. Chicago's been their own worst enemy in this one. But again, Buffalo, 55 or better, they're going to be stopped. And I would expect a lot of this in the second half. 4 plays, 11 yards, up to the 36. And Buffalo's going to have to kick it away. And another near block. That'll be a 40-yard punt. Yikes. Fielded at the 24-yard line. In Chicago, Buffalo dodging all kinds of bullets to stay somewhat in this game, as the return of 3. That will be a fair catch. So Chicago, their first drive of the second half. They take over on their own 24-yard line, and Mike Ditka, I'm sure he had some choice words for McMahon in the locker room. And 31, they almost get stopped again. That is barely a successful drive. So 3, that's going to be 5 plays, 32 yards. Down to the Buffalo 44-yard line, down the distance situation. And that's not going to be too favorable. That'll be a 3rd and 9 for the Bears. So McMahon needs to come up big here. Buffalo expecting the pass, however, and they are fighting in this game. 20, that's going to be a pass intended for Marjoram, and 5 is going to be the adjusted trench control roll because Buffalo is expecting the pass. Doesn't change the trench control result. 1 star, 1 star, stalemate. 4, and that is going to be complete to Marjoram. So Jimmy Mack stands in the pocket. You see stalemate here, 0 to 4 complete, and Marjoram L2, and that's going to be a catch for 10 yards, and that will be just enough for a first down. Down to the 34-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bears. And Chicago finally beginning to assert dominance. We're going to have a possible penalty here. Another pass intended for that guy Marjoram again. McMahon likes him today. 6, however, that's going to be incomplete, and that would have been a stalemate. However, a possible penalty, and penalties have, that's going to be another one on Chicago. Penalties have killed the Bears today. That's going to be an illegal formation. So first down and 15. Going from behind the sticks, and 19. This is going to be a pass intended for Reitman. This one's going to be complete as the trench control roll there. No stars for the Bills and 2 stars for the Bears. So pass is complete to Reitman, and Reitman rated an F as a receiver, and so it's going to be a very good gain for the Bears. 14-yard gain. So that'll make it second down and 1 as that gets it up to the 25-yard line. See if they stick to the ground here, and they are being uncharacteristically aggressive right now. It's a pass to Suey coming out of the backfield. It's going to be 1 star for Buffalo, and roll of 4 is going to be a stalemate. 1 star for the Bears on their trench control roll, and 8 on the stalemate column is going to be incomplete, so it'll be third down and 1. Buffalo stacking the box. Walter Payton, 11 or less, he's going to be the ball carrier here, and of course they give it to Sweetness. However, 1 star for the Bears and a 2 on the run. That's going to be 2 stars. That's a trench control win for Buffalo. And roll of 3, unable to get the stuff, however, so this will probably still be a first down as they only need a yard. And Buffalo's run defense is an I, not bad, so 8I. And that is going to be a gain of 3 yards, so first down for Chicago at the 22-yard line. So able to overcome that penalty. That was not the case earlier in the game. 18, and McMahon, he is airing it out. This is going to be intended for Suey again out of the backfield on first down. Throwing the ball all over the place, trench control, and that's going to be a defensive win. So 8, and that's going to be an incompletion and a possible sack. So again, McMahon 1 to 7, as with Buffalo's adjustment, McMahon's going to go down. So Buffalo, it's a 7-yard loss. So second down and 17 from the 29-yard line. Once again, the Bears find themselves behind the sticks. We're going to have another possible penalty here. Penalties have been crazy in this game. This is going to be a 2-3. This will actually end up being a run to Suey. And that's not going to end up with what the Bears are looking for here. So 3I, and trench control win for the Bears, of course. Or actually, it is a trench control win for the Bears. So 3I for Suey, and that's going to be a 7-yard gain. Let's see if there's a penalty, however. And the penalty is going to be on the defense. So 7-yard gain, and we'll see what the penalty is on Buffalo. 9. And that's going to be offsides. This would make it third down and 12. Of course, they're going to take that penalty, which instead makes it second down and 14. Still behind the sticks, however. And they're going to come out and throwing the ball. This is going to be a pass intended for Willie Gault again. Gault has found, or McMahon has found Gault a couple of times, one for a really big gain earlier in the game. And this is going to be complete to Willie, despite the fact that it is a stalemate. And 7 to Willie Galt, who again is rated a D. And that's going to be an 18-yard gain. So Willie Galt all the way down to the 6-yard line. First and goal for the Bears. Bears starting to assert their dominance now. Man up to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be a handoff to Suey right up the gut as Matt Suey shouldering an unusual heavy part of the load. It's going to be a defensive trench control win. So Buffalo 3-I, and 3-I is going to be, they still give up a 6-yard gain, and that's going to be at the goal line. Is he in? Doing the optional measurement rule. Normally you only need to do this for third down, but I do it in all situations around the goal line, where it's the exact yardage to line to gain. So Buffalo needs to be 7 or less to stop him just short, and he just gets in, and Chicago now, finally, overcoming penalties, asserting their dominance, and extra point is good. It is now 17-3. We are halfway through the third quarter as Buffalo gets set to receive the kickoff. They've got to make something happen here, as it took Chicago a while to get going in this one. 4C on the kickoff, and that's going to come down to the goal line. 5C on the return, and that's another good return, another 31-yarder. That's the second time they've got that result. So Vince Ferragamo back out on the field. And 53, unbelievable. They just missed a successful drive. And again, that Bears defense, if the Bears did not get that spinal tap bump to 11, that would have been a successful drive. Instead, it's just going to be another stop for the Bears. 7 plays, 22 yards. So into Bears territory, and they'll look to pin Chicago deep here and force them to drive. This time they fortunately do not get a potential block. So punt is away, and that's going to be a 33-yarder. So that comes down at the 14-yard line, and a 9 on the return is going to be a big play cover result. So over here to the big play charts, and you see big play cover right here. Chicago, their punt return is a C. So 1C, and that is going to be minus 3 yards. So Chicago has a long field ahead of them, as we are well past the halfway point of quarter number 3. Chicago up only 17-3 over the hapless Bills. And they're going to get stopped. So Buffalo's defense has played pretty well in this one. Offense has played as expected against Chicago's defense. But 13, that's going to be only 3 plays and 6 yards. So an opportunity for Buffalo, as this is the final drive of the third quarter coming up, to hang around and stay in this game. If they can put a drive together going into the fourth quarter, that would be a mild upset in itself, as Chicago punting away, and that will be a 41-yard punt. 3D on the return, and that is going to be a fair catch at their own 43-yard line. So Buffalo, final drive of the third quarter. They've come close to pulling a couple of drives out against this tough Bears defense. Not this time, though. 0-0 is going to be a stop. 3 plays, 7 yards. So they managed to get it to midfield, and we'll have to punt it away as we are at the end of the third quarter. Kick is up, and succeed. That will be a 41-yard punt. So down to the 9, looking to pin Chicago down there again. That is another big play cover result. Unbelievable Bears. 5C, and this time is going to be a 1-yard gain is all. So Chicago starts the fourth quarter with the ball at their own 10-yard line, and their offense has been very inconsistent against a better team. They might not have the favorable 17-3 result they do now. Jimmy Mack, he's going to engineer a successful drive here, however. And roll of 6 from the 10, that's going to be 4 plays, 48 yards, automatic first down. So down to the Chicago 42, or the Buffalo 42. First drive here of the fourth quarter. And Jimmy Mack, 19. They're throwing a lot on first down today, and you can see they're a very heavily run-oriented team on first down, 1-14 on the D20 basically, but it's not been the case today as Jim McMahon is going for that speedster, Willie Gault, once again. And going to be a possible penalty. What else is new for the Bears? So 1 star, and for Chicago 2 stars. It is a win at the trench level, but that'll be incomplete. Second down and 10, McMahon just overshoots Willie Gault. Speeding down the sideline, second and 10. Let's see if they go to the ground. 13. Nope, McMahon is staying in the air. This will be a pass intended for Peyton out of the backfield. And trench control roll is going to be 1 star, 1 star. That is a stalemate, and that's going to be complete to Walter Payton. Little swing route out of the backfield to M. And that's going to be a 5-yard gain, so it'll make it 3rd down and 5 for Chicago. At the 37-yard line of Buffalo. No adjustment here. This is going to be a complete pass regardless. Well, actually, it's not even a pass. This will be a run attempt. Trying to cross things up. This is a draw play to Walter Payton. And 6, that's going to be for the Bears 1 star, and 4 run defenses 1 star. We have a stalemate. So that would have been a big play if Chicago had won trench control there. As it is, however, a 0 here, and that will be 0G, a 6-yard run for Walter Payton, and that's going to be enough for a Bears first down. So down to the 31-yard line, 1st and 10 for Chicago. McMahon, and it's going to be another play action pass on first down, this time intended for Moorhead. And doesn't matter on the trench control roll, that is a complete pass to Emery Moorhead. And 6J on the, well, it actually does matter, I guess I should see. It's going to be a stalemate, so down from this chart here. And Moorhead, that is going to be a 10-yard gain, though. It's enough for another first down. Down to the 21-yard line, 1st and 10 for Chicago. Looking to put this game on ice here early in the fourth quarter. And 19, and the Bears are just airing it out left and right, looking for Gault once again. This is going to be an incomplete pass, however, 2nd down and 10. Man, just overshooting his speedster the last couple of times. 2nd 10, 14. It'll be another pass. This time, Walter. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Emery Moorhead again. Sorry about that. This one is going to be complete to Moorhead. And 2, that's going to be a trench control win for the Bears. So Moorhead J, 3J, and that is going to be a 14-yard completion. That's going to be down to the 7-yard line, 1st and goal from there for Chicago. Fourth quarter, Bears up over the Bills 17-3. And 6, that's going to be a handoff to Walter Payton as they're going to look to punch this one in. Trench control roll, though, however, 1 star and 4 1 star. So that's a stalemate, and that saves a potential big play. As Walter Payton, 9G on that result, and that's going to be a 3-yard gain down to the 4-yard line. 2nd down and goal from there. And again, if Payton had, if Buffalo had won trench control, that would have been a potential fumble. However, it is not. Possible penalty here, though, on 2nd down, and this is going to be a running play to Gentry. So Dennis Gentry in, giving Sweetness a breather. Buffalo's run defense, 1 star. Chicago, 2 stars. Trench control win for the Bears, and 7 to Gentry. Gentry is rated an E. He's a big play guy out of the backfield, and that is going to be a 7-yard gain. That'll be a touchdown if there's no penalty. 2nd time I've destroyed the field. All right, so Chicago has been snake bit with the penalties today. And 9, they're going to get penalized yet again. So again, they continue to be their own worst enemy. And it's going to be a clipping call. Wow. It's all the way back to the 19, block in the back actually, clipping. Back to the 14. And going to be 2nd down and goal from there. All right, behind the sticks, 12 is going to be a pass, and McMahon looking for Willie Gault once again. Gault's been a favored target of McMahon's today, more than usual, and that's going to be a completed pass, and Willie Gault, it's going to be a stalemate on the trench control win. Pass is complete, and Gault breaks away, and that is going to be a 14-yard touchdown strike. McMahon to Gault. Finally does not overshoot him. Kick is up and good. And in the 4th quarter, Chicago now has finally taken a commanding 24-3 lead as they get set to kick it off to Buffalo. Touchback, and Buffalo brings it out on their own 25. See if the Bills can put a drive together. That Bears defense is brutal. They're going to get stopped again. 4 plays, 6 yards. So up to the 31. We're going to be at the halfway point of quarter number 4 here. All right, Buffalo in punt formation, and 5 in both cases. So 42-yard punt, that'll be a fair catch. Now to the 27-yard line, and Jimmy Mack, who has led the Bears on 2 second-half touchdown drives after only taking a 10-3 lead into the locker room at halftime. And 73, that should be another good drive. It is. 14, so 14 from the 27. And that'll be 5 plays, 39 yards. Down to the 34-yard line. Down in distance with 7 is 1st and 10. So Chicago set up once again in a good spot. Just need to avoid penalties this time. And finally, they're going to stick on the ground a handoff to Walter Payton here. 2 stars, and Buffalo's run defense is 1 star. That's going to be a big play as Walter Payton breaks through the line, and 7 on the big play run chart. 7G, and that's going to be a D20 plus 15. So this could be a touchdown. 17-yard gain instead, however, so that gets it down to the 17-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bears from there. McMahon brings the team up to the line of scrimmage, and 1st and 10, he's going to throw it again. This time a play action and looking for Sweetness leaking out of the backfield. And 4, 1 star for Buffalo. 2 stars for the Bears. Another Bear trench control win. That pass is going to be complete to Walter Payton. And 2M. That's going to be a 15-yard gain. So Payton breaks a tackle, gets all the way down to the 2. It'll be 1st and goal there for the Bears, as Chicago now running away from this in this game, which we thought would happen early. 1st and goal from the 10. This is going to, or from the 2, sorry. And they're going to give it to Matsui up the gut, and possible penalty again on Chicago. So 1 star for Buffalo on the trench control roll, and 2 stars for the Bears. A Bears win. That will be easily a touchdown run. So hopefully Chicago can avoid a penalty, and they're going to get penalized yet again. This probably might be the most penalties I've had in play-by-play mode. That's crazy. That's going to be another holding call. So 1st and goal now from the 12. And McMahon behind the sticks, and this will be intended for Reitman. And that's not going to be a good result for Chicago. 2 stars, 2 stars, stalemate 9, and that is going to be a possible sack or an incompletion. And again, Jimmy McMack is 7 or less, and he avoids the pressure but throws it away. 2nd goal from the 12. Bringing the Bears up to the line of scrimmage. And 8, it's going to be a pass intended for Emery Moorhead. 4 on the trench control roll for the Bears is 1 star. 3 for Buffalo is 1 star. Yet another stalemate, and that's incomplete. 3rd and goal from the 12. So Buffalo stiffening up a little bit here in the 4th quarter. And 3 in Chicago, they're just going to play it safe. They're just going to give it to Suey on a dive play. And -1 from the trench control roll, as the Bills were expecting to pass. Not really going to make much of a difference, so that's 1 star still for Chicago and 1 star for Buffalo, stalemate. And Matsui, an I for I, will be a run of 3 yards. And it'll be 4th and goal from the 9, and Kevin Butler is going to make his way onto the field. From the 9, this will be a 26-yard field goal. So 0 to 97, and kick is up and good. Chicago extends that lead to 27. To 3, and 2 drives left in this game. Chicago set to kick it off, and 6, that's going to come down at the goal line. And it's going to be another 31-yard return, so Buffalo has been in love with that result today. Game is decided. Let's see if Buffalo can get a measure of dignity here. Whoops. Again, they need 55 or better. And 85. Well, that might not be good. 85, that is going to be a potential drive kill. So, the way this works is this will be a successful drive. And from the 30-yard line, this would be 7 plays, 44 yards if there is no penalty. If there is a penalty, it will kill the drive. And 19, that's a penalty on defense, so that's going to add 5 to the end of the drive. So Buffalo, 7 plays, 49 yards. And that is down to the 21-yard line of Chicago. And in those situations with a penalty, it's also always an automatic first down. So Buffalo trying to get a measure of, again, dignity here late in the game, as they had been stuffed since early in the first half. 19, and this is going to be a pass intended for Ramson. And trench control roll, 2 stars, 1 star. Chicago gets the win, but 1's going to be complete, and Ramson rated an M. 7M, and that's going to be a 7-yard gain. So down to the 14-yard line, second down to 3, Ferragamo has a play call. And they're going to continue throwing the ball here. 17 will be a pass intended for Ramson again. And trench control roll, this time it goes to the Bears, and 4, not going to be a friendly result, incomplete. Third down and 3 from the 14. And 2, they're going to try and run for it here, and that's going to be a handoff to Bell. Trench control roll, Bears run defense is tough. 2 stars and 1 star, or no stars at all. So that's going to be a trench control win for the Bears. Roll of 8 is going to be a stuff, and 3 on the stuff chart. And again, Chicago's stuff rating is a B. Again, just to show you how we got that. So 8 here makes it a stuff, and Chicago. Roll of 3 on the stuff chart, and that is going to be a minus 3-yard gain. So it's going to make it 4th and 6, and Buffalo has nothing to lose here. They're going to go for it. Last drive of the game. Chicago will just be able to run out the clock when they receive the kickoff, and we'll show you how that works. And that can be used basically when the game is in the bag, and you don't need to spend time doing another drive. All right, so 4th and 6, 17. That's going to be another pass intended for Ramson. He's been the go-to guy on this drive. However, once again, Chicago wins the trench control battle, but that's going to be complete. So 1, and Ferragamo dodges the pressure, and again, Chicago's pass defense is tough. They only give up 40% completions when they win trench control roll, or the trench control roll, and one of those potential completions could also be a sack, but not the case here as Ferragamo comes through, and 7M. Is this going to be enough for a first down? 7 yards and barely enough for a first down. Wow. So from the 17 to the 10, it's 1st and goal for Buffalo. And Buffalo looking to get a little respect back against the Bears, who were heavy favorites coming into this. And 1st and 10, that's going to be a handoff to Cribbs. And 2 stars, stalemate, and Cribbs. G5, and that's going to be a run of 5 yards. So 2nd down and 5. Good run for Krebs down to the 5-yard line. Ferragamo, 18, and he's going back to Ramson again. Ramson has been huge on this drive for the Bills. However, 2 stars there and 2 stars. That is going to be a stalemate. And stalemate is going to be an incomplete pass. 3rd down and goal from the 5. Definitely a 4-down territory as Buffalo looks to get a little respect here. All right, 3rd and 5, and that's going to be a run. They're going to try and run for it with Bell. It's going to be trench control win for the Bears, however. 0 is going to come off the Bears run chart, which is K. So 4K and 4K, that is going to be, that's the best result on there. That's a 5-yard gain, so that might be enough for a touchdown. Again, it's right at the line to gain. So we're going to do a spot check, and that's going to be just short. 4th down and less than 1 because the 2 is within Chicago's drive defense rating of 11. So box is stacked. 4th down and less than a yard. Buffalo waning moments of this game. And they're going to come out and hand the ball once again to Bell. Chicago is ready, however. That's the 6. Can't get any worse than that. That's a trench control win for the Bears. But is he going to have enough to power it in still? 2K and 2K, that's a yard. They're going to have to do another measurement or unpile the masses. So Chicago, can they get a goal line stand here late? 8, they do. Stopped inches from the goal line on 4th down. And Chicago is going to take over on downs. Up 27-3. Defense came up huge that time with winning both optional measurement rules with exact yardage gain. And this is how you do a basically run out the clock. It's a safety mode, and especially from here, just roll and check the punt kick column. And the only thing you look at these dice too is to check for potential turnovers all. And 64 would have normally been a successful drive, but we're running out the clock. So 17 on the punt kick, and that is going to be 7 plays, 22 yards, and that's going to run out the clock. Chicago, last drive of the game. And again, closer than expected. Do a quick recap. Final score is Chicago 27, Buffalo 3. The defense, as advertised. The offense struggled, though, scoring late in the first half to take a 10-3 lead. And then in the second half, though, they came out on fire. McMahon led them to 3 touchdown drives and, of course, a field goal here in the fourth quarter to get the final difference. But Buffalo played tough, and they hung around for a while. So respect for that to the Bills. Final score once again, and again, this is Glory Days Pro Football testing of the 1985 season, which again is about halfway done. 2023 season is to the printers and PDF sent to Joe. I expect that to be up shortly. So look for that. I'll put a reminder out on the forums and also on the Facebook page as well. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this. Once again, 1985 Chicago 27, 1985 Buffalo 2-14, Buffalo 3. Anthony with Bleacher Bums Gaming. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. We'll talk to you later.